Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're down in Diggle up in Greater Manchester. So we're back at where basically it all began. So a few years ago I never knew about any disused railway tunnels at all till I came across this one, which is known as Butterhouse Tunnel, which was on the Micklehurst Loop line that opened in 1886, closing in 1966, but did actually carry on serving to the Hartshead power station from Staley Bridge till 1972. So I'm here today with Jess. So she wants to come on this venture with me just to explore it. So what we're going to come and do is just come back. I'm going to call it my return to Butterhouse Tunnel. Now I've got an even better torch. Just want to have a look what it looks like now. I have seen a few little changes that have happened to the tunnel since last exploring it a couple of years ago. So let's go inside and see what it looks like. So this is the eastern end of the tunnel. So it's actually constructed out of engineering brick. You can see that there's about 6 bricks thick on the outside where you can see the red lining. Now when I last came here there was a lot of structural damage at the top of the portal. Now I've had a look back at all the footage, and since then I've seen a bit of a structural collapse here. Now I'm not sure if that's down to vandalism or down to just normal decay due to like rain or weather or wind. But you can see here there's a lot of fresh bricks that I cannot remember being here before. So it looks like there has been a bit of structural damage to the tunnel portal itself. See a lot of red brick just laying down here. Now before we go into the tunnel is in quite a good condition. And if you look straight ahead you can literally see it's just pitch black, and I'll tell you why when we go in there if you haven't seen this tunnel before. You could just take another look at the capping stones that have fallen down. Now it was actually built by the London and North Western Railway. It has a length of 329 yards and it does actually have a curve, hence why you can't see much further in. You can just see into the darkness. Looks nice and picturesque, that, doesn't it? And before we get the torch on, let's head in and see what we've come across. So here's the brick here. A lot of graffiti on the side walls. Not sure what this goo is here. There is some calcite there. There's a lot of like awful jelly looking stuff. I wonder if that's just water running through ivy. Now it looks like at some point the tunnel was sealed off, but obviously it's been made accessible. I can't remember this gate being here last time, but I just must have ignored it. Interesting. Now the tunnel is got refuge. Doesn't have any air shafts, but we have got refuges. We've got one here on the left, which is quite a nice tall one. It's got 3 bricks on the outside there. You can just see a little bit of decay on the outside. I mean, look at the brick. It is red brick. It looks like some of it's coated in blue. And just a little bit of decay on the outside there. That'll be down to just watery ingress. You can see there's some calcite that's dripping down that will have caused the tunnel to decay slightly. And as we head in, you can see there's ballast on the ground. There's a lot of ballast still left in the tunnel. Now, I'm not sure who's brought all this in, but people have been in here recently exploring. You've got a strange looking garden chair. Looks like people have been there having a good time. That definitely wasn't there when I last came. Now, you can see on the right here we've got some wall brackets that I believe were for cabling. Very, very rusted. So I'm assuming that will have been to carry all cabling, assuming for signalling through the tunnel when it was in its operation. Now you can see how the tunnel is just dark in the distance because it does head off to a curve. So we've got refuge here, 17 it says. Slight bit of erosion on the outside on either side, and that's looking back to the eastern portal. Bit of graffiti on the left. It's a very good condition tunnel so far. I do like this artwork that's in here, the natural art I call it. Now, other than Withcall tunnel, which I'll leave a link to the description, in the description to that tunnel below, so you can watch that one. Don't think I've seen any better artwork than this one. Now, just to the left here, we've got another refuge. Seems in a lot better condition. And I can imagine that on wet days, this tunnel does seem to get a lot damper due to what you can see here. All the calcite that comes down. Obviously, it's a dry day outside, so you're not likely to see that. Now, I've visited this tunnel a few times, and I do think that unless this tunnel actually gets sealed up or filled in, that this tunnel will be here forever, because I can't see any signs, apart from some of the alcoves, of any structural damage. I mean, with the line, with the tunnel closing in 1966, it just looks like it could still be used if this railway was to ever reopen. And check out this refuge here, just a slight bit of decay on the left. And on the right there. Another refuge on the right. Now, if you haven't ever seen a tunnel video, if you do want to know what these were for, basically any workers that were working in the tunnel and any trains that came past, they were able to back up into the tunnel and or back up into the refuge just until the train had passed. Got a gas can in here, or fire extinguisher. Don't think I saw that last time. All this cool. You've got another refuge on the left here. I mean, look at this. That's water ingress that's leaking through and causing the brick to dilute. Look at this, I'm not going to touch it. We've got a lot of calcite on the inside. We've also got here like a rusted wall bracket. I'm not sure what that was for. Wonder if there was a marker that was up on here and it's come down somewhere maybe. Can't see anything around. But yeah, I think there was a refuge marker up there like you've seen in the previous two refuges. Look at that there. Anyway, let's walk along and see what else we've come across. And pretty much, like I say, look at all this. You've got stalactites hanging everywhere, coming down. I'd pretty much say this is the tunnel that you see the most. I mean, Lydgate Tunnel on the Delft Donkey line, which isn't too far away from here. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. What I did a couple of years ago also had brilliant work like this, artwork, natural art. Yeah, look at this. Long streaks of calcite heading all down the wall of the tunnel. Now it looks like down here you've got, I mean, I thought it wasn't, it could be an insulator, top of an insulator by the looks of it. Just get a close-up of that. See a bit of erosion here with this brick coming off the wall. More artwork as we head down this. See on the inside. And pretty much just all built out of brick. So you're going to get a stronger structure with brick than you would with stone. Got down here a few bolt pins you can just see on the left here. You've got like one down there, you've got 3 just in the corner there. So they would have been used to bolt the tracks down through the fish plates. We have found another bolt pin on the floor there. Slightly further on we found another one as well. There's quite a few. Oh, there's 2, there's 3, there's one there. And they're just couple proper embedded into the soil there. We are coming up towards the infill. Like I said, it wasn't a very long tunnel by all means. We have got another refuge on the right. Refuge number 7. You see the number plaque on there. And yeah, just ahead you can see the infill. You see literally no light. Look at this, you can see more wall brackets. Just hiding in the corner, they're very rusted. There's no signs of the cable, so I'm assuming that has been long gone. There you go, got more stalactites. And it's pretty impressive actually, because the tunnel, well, not just the tunnel, but the cutting going towards Upper Mill actually was infilled in the 80s. So the whole of the cutting is filled in on the inside. Now I have got a photograph showing what this portal looks like, but I'll get to that in a second. We have got some more calcite here and another wall bracket. And then what we've got here is a chain marker. I believe that's a chain marker. Now I just heard a train then, I don't know if you heard it, which was just going along the Leeds-Manchester line. It actually sounded like the train was coming in here. So again, we've got another refuge marked at number 3. I'm not sure if that's the refuge or the chains, but from what I believe, there are a couple more just on the side down here, which we'll get to. Not sure what this is. I don't think it's anything railway related. There is what looks like potential wooden post that probably looked like it was railway related with this barbed wire wrapped around it, but I'm not too sure. It's actually been burnt out. That is looking back to the eastern portal. Look at that. Could you see the light? And it does, because of the infill, get a lot more echoey around here. So here we are at the infill. So this is the Upper Mill side of the tunnel, between Diggle and Upper Mill. There is actually a pipe that runs down here. I'm not sure what it's for and where it goes. I'm not sure if it was part of the line or it was potential drainage. But just get a little, yeah, it does actually go up some distance that you can see. I'm assuming it was drainage for the tunnel. There's nothing running through, you can actually see quite far into it. I'm not sure what all these concrete blocks are. There's quite a few of them. I don't know if it was some old drainage that's been dug out and just dumped. You've got, well, looks like it was a fence post here because you see all the cable road that ran through it. And looks like a cable post here. You can see the rusted brackets on the outside and the wire that runs through as well, or the wires. It looks like it's been snapped off at this side. And there seems to be a lot more that Jess has just pointed out here. And as we head further up towards the infill, you can see there's a lot more. Now I don't know if you can just make out that you can see all these crystals. Well, it looks like crystals on the floor. It's all this shiny stuff. I don't know where that's coming from. You can just see it all glowing. Got another fence post just on the floor here. And if we just go down here, I don't know what this thing is, but there's like looks like a manhole. And I think it is just a hole for the drainage pipe that you saw me shining the torch down just a few moments ago. But there you can see it carries on, so I'm not big on like sewage and drainage, but yeah, it does look like there's a manhole here that people used to go down. You can see the little bracket there, which I believe was like a bit like a ladder going down, so I believe it had gone a lot further down, but I'm not going down there. And here we are at the infill. So the other side would have been where it led towards the cutting out into Upper Mill. Now there is a photo of the portal showing the cutting just after the liner closed. Now it was infilled in the 80s, in the early 80s. Now I'm just heading up the infill, and you come to what you see is our refuge. Now I think there's another one just slightly further down where it's blocked up. But yeah, you can see there how the infill has blocked up half of the refuge. So like I said, this was filled in the 80s. That's a view back looking towards the eastern end. What we'll do is we'll just take a walk up the infill and see if we can find where the portal was. Yeah, look at that. Mounds and mounds of spoil and earth, rubble that would have been used to fill this tunnel in. Now in my opinion, it'd be nice to see it stay open, but they weren't going to do that, and I doubt very much they had the access to actually get vehicles to the other side to be able to fill the other side in. So here we are at the top of the infill. Now when I last came here, I don't think that this looked like this. It looks to me like someone's had a little go at this and tried to dig out and see if they could actually find the portal. And from what I've had a look at, they've actually succeeded. So the face of the portal, you can just see where it is there, and the infill obviously filling in the cutting. Now if I just go a little further in here and just shine the torch, you can just see the front of the portal here. Someone's had a little chip away at this and found it. But it's quite interesting. Like I say, the whole of the cutting leading onto a bridge will have gone out here. The bridge is actually filled in as well, but you can still stand on top of it, and you'd have been looking down at the portal of this. It would have been a very steep portal, but wow, that is absolutely brilliant. You can just see there. So there's our last view off the infill looking at the eastern end. Anyway, what we'll do now is head back to the eastern end. Anyway, we've just headed out of the portal, and it was nice and dry, and it's just the heavens have opened. So we just headed out of the eastern end of Butterhouse tunnel. We're into the cutting, the approach cutting from the Diggle side. I'll just show you a few things that are around. like relics that are left over. Now we normally do leave the railways until the vegetation dies down. However, I might as well just show you what I can see. Got a line of fence posts that you can see just on the inside of the cutting. So you'll see the brackets are on. They would have carried cables across here. Oh gosh, the heavens are really starting to open now. Yeah, there's quite a few that you can see. There's like this one that's just been pushed down into the soil just down there. That's the portal back there, you can't really see because of the trees, but this is the cutting that we're in. Fairly substantial, quite deep, probably about 40 or 50 feet. There is a bridge that is just slightly further down here that I'm going to show you before we conclude the video. Now it is worth mentioning that there were actually 3 tunnels on the line. So there was the Butterhouse Ryefield tunnel, which we just explored. There was also the Royal George tunnel, which is now blocked up. Now I have done a series on this line. I will leave a link to the playlist in the description below. So part 2 started where on the other side of the filled-in tunnel portal that we showed you earlier on, and then the Royal George tunnel actually ran underneath the Royal George pub, but both ends are filled in. And then I also ventured, whoa, the Staley Bridge new tunnel, which was at the other side of the line. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. We have just come across this post. Now, you can just get through this tree here. Whoa. So be very careful. See this old post here, and it looks like it said catch points, I think, on it. It's snapped in half. No signs of the other side. You can see it's very old, but you can just see in it TCH, and then at the bottom it says NTS, so I believe it did say catch points. I mean, I'm not sure what that was for. Someone can please let me know in the comments. Now we're just heading slightly more east, and I just wanted to point out this bridge before we conclude the video. So it's a bridge that runs just underneath where the Micklehurst line and the main Manchester line is just there. So we have found this looks like a blue engineering brick bridge, which is coated in graffiti, and the rain's getting really bad, so it'd be nice to get a bit of shelter under here for a little bit. But check this out, found a nice under bridge. And look at, oh gosh, you scared me to death then. So you can see this old bridge. Didn't expect anyone to be in here. But you can see it's got 3 bricks on the outside, so we'll just have a little venture underneath. So here's a look at the arch. Nice blue engineering brick. To be honest, actually it does look like red brick coated in blue. You can see it's actually the same sort of looking masonry as the tunnel. So let's have a walk through here. Look at this. It runs underneath both the old Micklehurst line and the current Leeds Manchester line. And there's a look at the bridge from the other side. Sure what those Pepsi cans are doing up there. Made for a bit of artwork. But that's looking through at the other side. Absolutely brilliant. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this explore on my return to my first ever abandoned railway tunnel that I explored. It's nice to come back and have a look. Of course, I wanted to get a better video on it. Thank you from myself and Jess. Oh wait, as we were just heading back to the car on the canal, we've just found another little mini tunnel. Let's have a little walk in and see what it looks like. I have to be very careful walking down here, but found a bit of an interesting tunnel. Now I have a feeling that this is the same one that Johnny from Wet Dog FPK came through. He might have done a video on this. I think it is this one anyway. So John, if you're watching, leave a comment. Ah, I do recognise this actually, yeah. Got a nice curve on it.
Yeah.
Probably about a good 150 yards. I'm not sure it leads to, I think it's just an underpass tunnel. Nice little bonus that. Anyway, thank you very much again for watching. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.